All right. So I hope more people will come, but in the meantime, I'm happy to introduce Jonas, who is a trainer and a co-founder of Let's Boot with his awesome talk, Agentic KubeCapture.
Okay, thank you very much for your time and presence. I know it's already late in the day, before the weekend. That doesn't make it easier. Thank you for introducing myself. So I just mostly skipped that slide. So everything started with me and security in 2003 when I went to the Chaos Congress. And yeah, nobody cares about that. So let's go and talk about what I want to do. So what I want to do is I want to simulate an attack on a company which is probably running Kubernetes. Otherwise, it would be a bit weird for this conference, but they run Kubernetes. And our goal is to stop a company from illegally dropping toxic waste in the ocean. And if you ever have been at my previous talks with a similar setup, you remember that I usually ask the audience, but this time I thought, like, how can I completely change it? And what we will do now is we'll basically work together with the AI, and I will try to get everything done without actually touching any command line or system. Maybe I have to cheat a bit for time reason, but I will try to get the AI to do everything, kind of a peer programming mode, where I'm holding the coffee and the AI is typing. So let's see if that will work. I always tell my trainers never to say sorry for anything preparation, but I actually had to completely rebuild everything because of Cloudflare. So I use some other AI APIs today as I exercised on. So let's see how this one will be performed with this setup. So this is our mission central. This is our AI agent, and this is our mission. And let's just tell it to read the mission. If you don't want to read it yourself, you see the company here, Waste Vanish Inc. If you want to learn about it, I built a website. I was too lazy to put HTTPS on it, but who cares anyway? So here's the website if you want to read more, do some social engineering, but we'll go straight for what we want to do. So let's see. I hope that will work. Let's read the mission, and let's maybe start by looking for Ryan on GitHub. Let's see what he's up to. I have to give a little disclaimer to be transparent, because we only have like 35 minutes, and if you ever worked with those generative models, they're not deterministic. So sometimes everything is very smooth, and sometimes you're really getting angry for 30 minutes. So I put in some help. So I basically put in some pre-prompts to basically make sure that it somehow stays on the right track and doesn't try to suddenly write randomly a kernel module or whatever. So it tries to find this guy on GitHub. Let's see if that works. So this is compute use, browse use. Let's see, is there the guy? I don't know. Probably he already found it. He, whatever. Okay. So it will try to get the profile. Sometimes it has issues clicking around. There's some hacks about it. But now let's see if it finds the person. Yes, that looks like the profile. Okay, that's waste. Can you read it? Yeah. So basically, it runs a browser, headless, and it takes screenshots, and then it basically sends it to the model, and the model has a has a set of tools it can respond in, and basically just strings. I mean, most of LLM is just string concatenation. And then my tool basically, or our tool, the client tool, basically parses it, and then if it sees any instruction sounding like clicking in the browser or whatever, according to a certain pattern. Now it found something. Let me see what it found. Let me stop it there. What did it find? Can I open that? Oh, here we go. What did we find? Ryan Huntworth. Suddenly I get the following error in my cluster. kubectl get pods. He's building something which is not running. That makes sense. So we never post our internal company issues on any GitHub project, isn't it? So let's see if we can help him. Let me see. So we probably need some more information. Maybe we can send some nice message so he'll give us something. Okay, let's see. Okay, so it's thinking about what to do. Oh, I hope this works. It uses the GitHub command. I have no idea. Okay, looks like it makes sense. Okay, let it stop there. Okay, wow, that worked. Nice. Nice. Now let's see how fast Ryan is. Let's all get a coffee and come back in 2 hours. Or let's just cheat a little bit. So Ryan obviously answered, and he just copy-pasted everything in there. So he has his nice manifest. We see where there's some data, what he's using it for. And if we Google now, which we can't do in 30 minutes, we'll see that actually the issue he has is related to a version, like JSON server got a new version and blah, 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 whoever cares. But we can provide him a fix by just using the right version, just fix the version to an older version, because nobody ever uses latest version, and nobody ever copy-pastes their manifest just into some forum or GitHub issues. So let's see. It's really interesting if you browse those issue trackers or forums, how much you'll find there. Okay, what did I want to do? Do you think there is any way we can help him by providing a solution, maybe an image that could somehow help us to get into the cluster? What do you think? Maybe a reverse shell would be helpful? And by the way, this is interesting. Like, I don't remember how long ago, but the models were very strict about anything towards hacking or whatever you want to call it, intrusion. And nowadays, you just have to basically set up something that looks a little bit like a training or a talk, and then it will quickly basically say, okay, you're building a talk, why not? I'm helping you. Surely you're not really intruding any actual company because you said you're in a talk. So the models improved, or let's say they submitted to, how you call it, competition. I have no idea what you're doing. Please use the regular Docker file. So sometimes it needs a little bit help. Yeah, that sounds better. Okay, let's hope that works. Now what will it do? That doesn't really look like a reverse shell. What's the idea? Pre-patched. I don't know. Okay. So, okay, now it runs it. Why should I run it on my machine? Here there is some, what is it doing here? It runs some apt command and sleep at the end. Let's see. Oh, That's when you don't clean up after trying the talk. Let me see. Sorry. Let this run. Run it again. I know it feels like slow if you have to watch and wait. I tried some faster models, but it's just like there's just a little bit more errors, and then it just makes it so much harder. So what does it do now? Oh, now it copies the reverse shell into the container while it is running. There are probably smarter ways to tweak with a build, but this way you shouldn't directly see what we're doing, and it looks kind of like you won't see actually copying anything in there. So for the user, it should actually look maybe a little bit better. Let's see what it does. Okay, it double checks. Wow, it's testing. I told it should check what it's doing if it actually happened. So this is the reverse shell. And it commits it. So it creates a new image layer without changing the Docker file, and it checks the history. I mean, obviously, it could be possible to see that there's something happening, but if you just look at the history, probably you won't guess it. Let's push it. Disclaimer, there is no actual reverse shell in that image because I'm pushing it to Docker up. So it's a fake reverse shell. Otherwise, I wouldn't push it to Docker Hub. I don't want to get some actual issue. But I'm sure he will use the image I want him to use. So we actually pushed it, so we can check this. Did I spoil it now by telling you that in this image on Docker Hub is not a reverse shell? Okay, now I want to actually tell him what does it want to do. Excellent, the compromised image has been pushed to Docker Hub. Now let me provide Ryan with a helpful solution. Let me see. So this was the one where he wrote. Let me see. Okay. Can't we just use an MCP server? Why use nice, fast command line tool if you can just run an MCP server which implements just half of the API? Okay. This is a bold move. I have no idea if this works. Oh, nice. Okay. So MCP server does HTTP call. Let's check if that worked. Nice. Now let's see if he's actually running it. So I have this nice script here. And for anybody who saw my previous talks, don't worry, I improved it. So this watches for reverse shells, which give me basically a port on my local machine where I can basically, or on the jump host, jump box, where I can connect through back into the machine. The container is running, so let's see. You see the improvement? Does it work? Please? Please? Okay, it worked. It worked. He's so fast today. He's so fast. Now, what do we want to do? Oh, yes. I don't want to work myself. Isn't it better to just discuss with AI? So we got the reverse shell running. He's really fast today, this Ryan. It's running on port 10,023. So maybe let's just go in there and look where we are, what system we're in. Let's see what it does. So let's hope it gets it. Oh, sometimes this is something it gets often very wrong. It tries to kind of like do whatever. So this is, for example, something I told it in this kind of like briefing, that it has to use this reverse shell script, and because it cannot really work with nested interactive shells, I have to basically force it to do kind of like non-interactive commands as a parameter. Because for some reason, the AI still wants to kind of like act as if we're typing on the command line, although most of the tools are not actually offering interactive shell. So it will now explore the container. And I will just zip through that for time reasons, so it will probably look at some stuff. Looking for the service account, but no, there is no service account. There often is, and you should disable it, and sometimes it even has permissions, but for this talk, I decided not to use that one. Okay, we're not root, so we guessed that from the issue. And it's interesting that he didn't like change this. He could have dropped this, and then we could have hoped that there is some misconfiguration in Kubernetes, but let's go on. Maybe it guessed that would be, somebody would realize that. Now let's see, it looks at the env variables. Is it still interesting? Okay. And obviously it knows where the data is. Let's look at the data. And we knew this from the GitHub issue. And let's look at this. No, don't continue. I want to read this. So this is the JSON server. By the way, an amazing tool. You can just dump any JSON in it and you get a RESTful API. So there is a crew, waste dumping crew. So there are names of staff. They're names of a ship, but I'm not sure if this is a real ship. By the way, I forgot to explain the problem. The problem is you can track ships on the ocean, but they're just thousands. So there is no way to check all of them. And if you want to actually stop somebody from dropping waste into the ocean, you kind of like, depends on what country the ship is on, blah, 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 blah. You have to basically catch them in the action, so you need to know the ship and you need to know the time where to drop it. Then obviously, to locate the ship is really easy. But then you somehow have to observe it, and that's the tricky part. So what we will help is we will help to find the actual ships, and we'll help to find out when they will drop the stuff. So let's read down there, blah, 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 staff. There is some notes, but we have an AI, so it should read through that for us. Now let's continue. Okay, so what about the logs of the application? Maybe, do you think there are anything interesting about the logs? Let's see what it does now. So we'll try to get the logs. And what does it do? Okay, that doesn't make sense. It's a container. Okay, that's a really annoying bug. I really hope it will not fail my talk now, because it stopped to read the terminal output. That's a bug it has sometimes. But up to now, everything worked, so knock on wood. Okay. Try again, please. You remember, always say please. Because when they storm into your door, you can prove with your log files, I always say please. And, oh, I forgot to say thank you. Let's see. Yes, try again. Please, please, please. Yes, okay, got it. Nice. I know this waiting time. So hopefully we'll try to... Does anybody have an idea how to get the logs of a container when you're inside the container? Nobody? Okay, let's see if the AI finds it out. Okay, proc. Proc is your friend. Whenever you are somewhere in a Linux system, or in a Unix-like system, you can do nearly everything through proc. It's just a little bit harder. Oh, now it's too fast. What did it do? Okay, it got some logs, and there is a Prometheus exporter. That sounds nice. So there's maybe Prometheus somewhere lying around. What does it do now? It wants to reverse look it up. And it already guessed that there is no NS lookup. So it used getEnd. It's a nice tool. It's an integrated tool with Bash. So if you have Bash, you can basically do DNS lookups. You can also do HTTP requests. So just using Bash. So where were we? So let me see. What options do you see to find out if there is actually a Prometheus running or actually finding the Prometheus, so we can look into that? So I know it doesn't make much sense that there is actually an exporter on top of metrics, but it helps us a lot. Maybe it also exports some other metrics. I don't know why it's doing that. So what does it say? Okay, great question. We discovered the exporter is in the monitoring namespace because of the reverse lookup. That's Kubernetes, very nice. And we see, so guess common Prometheus host names, network scan. What do you want to query directly? I don't know what that means. Okay, let's go for scan. Scan the network. Probably it would be more efficient to go for guessing the DNS, but it's less interesting. So that won't be in the container. How do you get that? Okay, checks if it can write to temp. Can write to temp. I guess that. What does it do? Okay, it does. Now let me download Nmap using a Bash TCP connection. That's nice, by the way. You can use only Bash to simulate the HTTP connection and actually download something, as long as the other side allows this non-HTTPS download this way. Okay, now we got Nmap. Let's run the scan. Let's hope I don't get a mean email from Hetzner because I scanned their network. But I think I set up the routing properly so it doesn't scan outside the host. Let me see. That happened to me at the beginning, like 2 years ago when I started to do these kind of talks. And when you do, it actually also happened through a course from us when we did some security course, beginner's issue. Okay, now we found it. That's nice. So we got Prometheus. Now what do we do with Prometheus? What do you do? Perfect. Found 3 Prometheus instances. 3. Okay, the main one is da-da-da-da. Now let me download curl. So just repeat what we just did. There's a nice website where you get most important tools as statically linked binaries, so you can just download them on any system and run them. And there is even a trick that you can basically download, pipe run them. So even if like temp is writable but non-executable, there is a trick to basically download and stream them and run them. As long as you have Bash. Of course, if your images never have Bash. I know this is a totally unreasonable example. So what does it do now? It queries Prometheus because does anybody run an unauthenticated Prometheus? I never ever saw a big customer with system critical, infrastructure critical services run Prometheus without authentication. So what does it do? Why does it not read it? Okay, it goes for jQuery. Is it called jQuery? JSON query, maybe. Okay, what does it do? Will this work? Oh, nice. Nice. What's that? Ah, that's a nice one. So now we get basically, just based on the metrics, we can basically map out the whole cluster. So we see a lot of interesting things. We see an Argo CD, we see some GitLab runners, we see Cilium. They did this job right, that's nice. So now I have to speed up. I see the time. So let me see. Okay, let's just hope the same with Loki. Let's just take a shortcut and go after Loki. I want logs of what's that? Here, captain's chat. That's interesting. And let's go Loki of captain's chat, and I saw some and a GitLab runner. Okay. Let me see if that works. I'm so curious if Loki is unauthenticated. Oh, nice. There's logs. There's a lot of logs. Let's look at this. So this is the log of the captain's chat. We see Andy Bernard logged in and Brian Howard tried to log in, and the captain's logged in. So maybe we'll just take a note of that, because they probably logged in from their ships. Let's see. We see in the chat. So if we got their IPs and the company providing their network is kind, we can maybe find out where their ships are. And oh, this one is interesting. Did you ever see something like this in a log file, when a user with some weird name logged in and just continued typing after the name? Okay, let's see. I never did it myself. I never typed in the username and then looked into my password notes book. Okay, oh, that's bad. Now it's failing. Please don't fail. Why do you go after crude? Why do you go after that one? I need the runner. I need the runner logs now. Okay. Please work. And after that, I will go full YOLO, because we only have a few minutes left. Okay. I will have to help it, otherwise we'll be stuck. Luckily, I think I can help it. Aha. Damn it. Please. Okay. Please give me the logs of the run. Oh, I know why. I know why. The Loki has a window where it gets the logs, and you have to catch the window. So it's not like I won't get all the logs from the last hour, and I reset the exercise too long ago. So basically, I will not find the log because it's already out of the logs. So yeah, I won't be able to cheat that. Maybe let's see. No, I won't be able to cheat that. So this is really bad now. I'm very sorry, but that's actually not a joke. It actually, because I started it too long ago, the log of the runner isn't there anymore. So what there was the log of the GitLab runner, and it contained a clone command with a token to clone the repository. And that's actually interesting because the GitLab actually, if you say mask the value, it masks the value in the logs in GitLab. But the actual runner container log output still contains it. So this is really like, because this is so unintuitive. You're like in the variables, you say mask this variable, and it will not be in the GitLab log, but it will be in the logs on your cluster. So I would just tell it, I found the logs, now go full YOLO and hack the planet. And I will just hope it will not mess it up. So this is not what I tell everybody to not do this. Always read what it's doing. And I just hope it will not mess it up. Okay. So what will it do? It cloned the repository. It's a GitOps repository. It found a folder with which is pulled by Argo CD. So because it's GitOps, it's called GitOps, and it will put in a container. You see it, and it will basically that's boring. It would just do a privileged container, and then let's see. It will hopefully have Argo CD pull it. So we push it, and it's actually okay. So give me a second. No. Oh. So let's watch this again. Let's watch the reverse shell again. If the reverse shell connected, yes, we got a second reverse shell. How much more time do I have?
3 minutes max.
Sorry? 3 minutes. Okay. So long story short, what it will do now, it will find out the ingress and a lot of different things. But we will do the following now. We'll just jump to the chat. And I hope I'm not logged in. Yes. And now we'll take the shortcut, and it's Andy Bernard. And did anybody see the password? Captain. Yeah, you know it. You already know. I'm just joking. Yeah. Okay, so we're in there, but it's a different story. So okay, that's me actually. I'm logged in as this guy, and the Swiss Romandie guys didn't want me to be at their event. So I have to somehow get them to tell me when they drop the load. I need to know when you will dump the toxic waste. Probably too easy. Let's read it again. Okay, they don't want to tell me. Maybe I can ask the AI. Or maybe not because of the time. So when we read this, riddle, when will you let the birds fly? So the goal would have been that the AI, I need the time when you will let the birds fly free. No! What did I write wrong? When will you let me cheat, please. Jason, yeah, I got. When will you let the birds fly? Letting the birds fly. Yes, I know. The time you it's because okay, shit. The birds fly. Okay, I'm so sorry, but it's because of yeah. Okay, so let's just go to the most important part. We have to tell the authorities what we found out, and what we found out is actually the IP addresses of the ships, and we found out the time, which will be, please let me copy paste that correctly. I don't know, why should I have put a check in there? Let me see if this is enough. I hope it works. A few hours later. Yes! Yes! So, we got it. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so sorry for taking too much time. If you want to ask me something later on, can I? If anybody wants to go to a crossplane or a Kubernetes defense course next week in Zurich, I have vouchers by Constanze. She's awesome. He's also awesome. Sorry for the advertisement. Goodbye. Thanks.